Friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Manoj Networker. So today in this video I'll talk about SBI new bank setup. So you are the network admin going to establish the connectivity from these computers to the internet. So this is the internet connection and all the computers should reach the internet, and you need to make use of all these network devices. So let me first explain the topology. So I have basically 5 computers. Two are from VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 associatively, and I have made one for CC cameras. So I'm using 4 switches. So this is going to my first switch, second switch, third switch, and fourth switch. So this switch will act as an VTP master, and it will also act as a core switch. And I have one router that is connected to this router. I have my DHCP server also. So here I will be creating VLAN 10 pool, VLAN 20 pool, VLAN 30 pool, so that the computers will get the IPs automatically. I no need to type the IP address. Through DHCP server they will be getting the IP address, and this server is also connected to two ISP routers just to simulate the real-time environment. So ISP1 is nothing but Airtel, ISP2 is BSNL. So let's shut down Airtel so that the traffic should divert to the BSNL, and that's the final thing. So the ultimate aim of this lab is, so any computer, it should get the IP from DHCP server, and it should have access to the internet no matter if ISP1 is up, and it will always use the ISP internet link Airtel. So if this ISP1 is down for some reason, it will reroute the traffic to the BSNL. So before moving further, so let's see the configurations on the switches. So here I am using VTP configurations because I have multiple VLANs like VLAN 10, 20, 30 and all. So that's why let's first go to this core switch. So now we need to make this as a VTP master. So first is going to be this VTP master. So remaining I will be making as a VTP clients, and this is going to be VTP transparent. I'll talk in a while why we need to make this is in VTP transparent. So let's start the configurations. So please follow the topology and understand the commands so that it will be easy for understanding. So let's go to our core switch or VTP master switch. I just changed the name of this switch to VTP master and core, so that it will be easy to understood. So I have already configured the basic trunking commands. So since many of you already know about how to configure the trunk ports and all, so I just configured it. So if any of you have doubts, please follow my earlier videos, so that I have explained about how to configure the trunk, how to make the interface as a trunk. But for now I am just skipping that part. But if you see fast Ethernet 1, that is going to the switch 1 that is in switch port mode trunk, and it is allowing two VLANs 10 and 20. So fast Ethernet 2, that is going to switch 2, that is also I have made in switch port mode trunk by allowing VLAN 10 and 20. And fast Ethernet 3, that is the security gate switch, only CC cameras are connected. So here also I have made that port as a trunk, and we have one more port GI0/1, that is going to the router. So I have made that port also in trunk. So GI0/1 switch port mode trunk, and switch port trunk allow the VLAN 10, 20 and 30. So just for even confirmation, we can even go for show interfaces trunk. So you can see all the 4 ports are needed for me to complete this lab. So they all running in the trunking, and we have the VLANs, respective VLANs allowed in the trunking. That's fine. So now I have made the configurations. So the second step is to make this switch as a VTP master. So we need to configure some commands to make this switch as a VTP master. So how to do that means, so config t, so VTP domain is going to be CCNA. So before configuring these commands, let me quickly explain what is the use case of VTP domain. So end of the day, so no matter which VLANs they are serving, so all these 4 switches, they are from my organization, and I need to tell you all from same domain. So now VTP domain is going to be any name. So in this lab I will use CCNA. You can, this is just a name, we can type anything, and out of all 4 switches only this person is going to be master, remaining all going to be clients. So we need to configure the same thing on the switches. So let's go to this switch. and let's ensure, yeah, VTP domain. The commands are so simple. VTP domain, and you just type CCNA, and VTP mode is going to be server mode. So by default all the Cisco switches will come up with VTP server mode only. So that's why it is telling device mode is already set into VTP server. That's absolutely fine. So let's go to the first switch. So let's ensure we are using that VTP commands. So enable config T, VTP domain is going to be CCNA. Ensure whatever the name you have used on the master switch, please use the same name, else the labs will not work. So VTP mode is going to be client. Excellent. So VTP mode is going to be client. I have made it configured ready, and moving further you need to issue the same commands on all the switches. I'm just going to the other switch. Enable config T, VTP mode is going to be client, and VTP domain is going to be, sorry, VTP domain is going to be CCNA. So excellent. So just save the changes, right, so that it will save the changes. So you need to do the same steps on this last switch also. Just go to this one and CLI enable config T. So we need to make this as a transparent, because it doesn't have VLAN 10 and 20, only it's supporting VLAN 30. So I am keeping this mode in VTP transparent mode, and VTP domain is going to be CCNA. So excellent. Moving further, so we have made the VTP configurations on all the switches, and let's create the VLANs on this master switch. So how to create the VLANs? As simple as it is. So config T VLAN 10, for example name is going to be, since this is a bank, so for example only finance team will be there, and in VLAN 20, like let's say auditing team will be there. We have two VLANs, so auditing team will be there. And for VLAN 30 we need to create only CC cameras are there in the security room, so I'm just naming it as a CC cam. So if I fast forward, so show VLAN, so if you see in the VTP, I am in the VTP master switch, so I just created 3 VLANs, so that the job of this VTP is to, it will synchronize that information to all the VTP client switches. Now here I have created VLAN 10, VLAN 20 and VLAN 30. So by this time it should have gone set one image here. It will share the information. It will also share the information to all the switches. Ensure the connection from switch to switch should be in trunk, because multiple VLANs traffic are there. So you need to configure the links between switches. You need to make trunk, then only it will work. So let's go and verify the VLANs are synced or not properly. Show VLAN. Yes, if you could see here, I can see 10, 20 and 30 are actively created automatically. I didn't created it here. Automatically the VTP server created it. Sorry. So now let's go to this other switch also. So if you can just quickly check here, show VLAN brief. So here also we have 10, 20, 30. The particular VLANs are automatically created by the VTP. So that's how the use cases of VTP in the real time. So we will make any one switch as a VTP master. We can make the remaining switches as a client and transparent. Depends on your requirements, so that the wherever you will create VLANs here, automatically it will be synced to all the switches in the real time. So moving further, so the configurations are done here. So now you need to go to the router. So just configure the default routes towards the ISPs, configure the interface IPs, and just ensure you have the DHCP server also. And we also need to create SVIs on this interface, since VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30 is, so in the core switch all the traffic from multiple VLANs, it will come here, and end of the day all the VLAN traffic will hit on this interface. So here we need to create SVIs for VLAN 10, VLAN 20 and VLAN 30. So let's go one by one. So please follow the topology so that you will understand. So I am going to the router. So let's first configure the SVIs one at a time. So enable config t interface gi 0/0/0, no shutdown and no IP address. Excellent. So now just ensure we are creating virtual interface for VLAN 10. So encapsulation is going to be .1q, and this is very important. So here whatever the number you will type, it should be same as here. So then only they will identify this SVI is for VLAN 10. So IP address is going to be 192.168.10.100. You can see on my screen in the topology that the SVI I have made it as a 10.100. Excellent. So in the same way, let's create the for 20. So no shet, just issue no shet, and here it is going to be 20.100. Okay, you have missed one command, encapsulation .1q 20, and now you apply this IP address, it will take, so followed by no shet. So in the same way we need to make it for VLAN 30 SVI. So no shet. Excellent. Encapsulation .1q 30. So let me assign the IP here 30.100. So if any of you know how many this kind of, now I have created 3 SVIs, right, on a single interface. So just to make it clear, I'm just making it big so that you can see. So show IP interface brief. So you can see this is a physical interface GI 0/0. On the physical interfaces I have made it as a 3 sub interfaces. So that sub interfaces will work as an SVI or gateway for VLAN 10 traffic. So the first one 10.100 is going to be SVI of VLAN 10, the second one is going to be SVI of VLAN 20, and the third one is going to be SVI of VLAN 30. So if any of you know how many, now I have created 3, right, how many we can create, let me know if you anybody knows. So on a single physical interface, how many virtual interfaces we can create? Comment in the comment section. If not, I'll let you know. Okay, but now I am not covering that part, that's fine. So now moving further, so we have created the SVIs here. So this portion is completed. So here I have made the SVIs created. So let's configure the ISP's IP addresses, and also just to mention in real time. So till here it's going to be my responsibility, because I will not be able to control the Airtel router, and at the same time I will not get any access to the BSNL router. Since it's a lab topology, we also need to configure Airtel and BSNL routers also. But in real time, just ensure your network is up to this, and you need to configure till that portion only. So moving further, go back to the router. So how to assign the IP addresses to the interfaces? So config t, so let's assign interface SE0/2/0. so ensure no shutdown. IP address is going to be 1.1.1.1 with /24 subnet mask, and we have another interface going towards the ISP2, so his name is 0/2/1, and he is also going to be no shet with IP address 255, same subnet mask, but is going to be 2.2.2. so 2.2.2.2. so just to ensure providing the correct IP addresses, and if you would like to validate, we can simply use this command, show IP interface brief. Very good. So I have my 1.1.1 is configured towards the Airtel. I have 2.2.1 is configured towards the BSNL. You can see the status is down because the other side also we need to go and configure. So let's go to this Airtel, and let's configure the commands here. So ensure enable, we are doing config t interface SE0/1/0 no shet. Please see the events. Now immediately if you see the serial link changed to green state, you can also see the topology changes also, because that's how by default all the router ports will be in shutdown state. So we need to always issue no shet. So followed by IP address 1.1.1.2 with 255.255.255.0. so same steps to be repeated on. Even we can change the host name also, just to ensure. So host name is going to be Airtel router. Very good. So moving further, for this BSNL, the same things we need to do there also. So go to CLI, enable, so conft, so host name is going to be BSNL router, and the interface I'm just seeing, I hope you are seeing the interface on the topology. So 0 slash interface sc 0/1/0, no shutdown. Now if you see, again immediately the port came to upstate. So IP address is going to be 2.2.2 with 255.255.255.0. excellent. So just to confirm, show IP interface brief. So yes, now if you see, I can have this 2.2.2 up and working. So what is pending means, now the basic IP configurations are configured on the router, but till now there is no routing protocol that we configured. So for this lab I am using the default route. So by default we need to configure routing, then only they all will talk. So let's configure the default routing on our company router. So let's see how to do that. So go to this router, config t IP route. Default routing is going to be static default route, also will call. So all zeros with any subnet mask, so just send it to 1.1.2. so please understood, 1.1.2 is nothing but the Airtel ISP IP, and we need to create a backup route, because if Airtel is down I need to divert the traffic to BSNL. So the BSNL IP is going to be 2.2.2.2. so here is the magic it will do. We need to add the weight. So I'll show in the running configuration on the router. So you can see the SUS configuration, but if you see here I have the two routes that are configured towards the ISP interfaces. So if I explain you much better, so the first one will work. So by default the AD value of, since I haven't configured anything here, so by default the router will take number 1 here, because the AD value of the static routing is 1. So since we have two default routes, the by default priority is towards this ISP. So this ISP is nothing but Airtel. So if both the links are available, always the traffic will go to 1.1.2 only, since it has the lowest AD value. Like let's say if something will happen, the Airtel ISP will not work, then only all the traffic automatically will go to the 2.2.2. so this is nothing but my ISP of BSNL router. Okay, and I can even show you at the time of verifications. We'll try to ping to the internet from the computer, and let's see that changes. And what is missing? Yes, DHCP server is still missing. We need to configure the DHCP interface configuration. So show IP interface brief. I think we already have this 172.16.1.100 that is going towards the DHCP server, and on the DHCP server we need to create the pools. So go to desktops. So I have already made the DHCP server is 172.16.1.1. so 255.255.255.0, let's use /24, and I am using 1.100. so that is nothing but the router interface IP. So now let's create the pools. So first complete the configurations on server, DHCP server, go to services, let's create the DHCP, because if anybody is asking for the VLAN 10 IP, you need to provide. So I'm just creating VLAN 10 pool, ensure the DHCP services are up and running. So what is the default gateway for VLAN 10? That is going to be 192.168.10.100. 192.168.10.100. so the DNS server I don't have any, so I'm just using the DNS and DHCP the same IP. And now the starting IP is going to be 192.168. so here we can just mention which IP to start with. Maybe let's use 5. so the subnet mask is same. Yeah, let's limit the users to, for example, 100, and just add it. So now if you see, VLAN 10 pool is created on the DHCP server. So in the same way we need to create VLAN 20 pool, and here it is going to be 20.100. so DNS server is going to be same. So here it is going to be 20.5, and same, yes, add it. So in the same way we need VLAN 30. so there is no limit here how many you needed. You can create n number of pools. The only logic is just to ensure that we are providing the correct set of IP addresses. So now I think we are fine. So we have configured the default routing towards ISPs. We have the DHCP server ready. We have the VTP configured, everything proper. The links between the switches are in trunk. So let's validate the configuration. So let's go to this VLAN 10 switch, 10 computer. So let's ask for the IP first of all. So let's go to desktop, go to IP configuration. So let's see the DHCP. So now it's requesting the IP address from the DHCP server. So let's see what will happen. Okay, let's see the DHCP is failed. So what happening means, so there is some problem in the topology, so that's why our computers are not getting the IP addresses. So what's happening here is, so nobody is responding to this computer. So that computer is requesting for the DHCP, but they here what it is missing is DHCP relay is missing. DHCP relay is missing because all the traffic from the switches are coming to the router. So this router doesn't know this is a DHCP server. It has the capability to do the assignment of IP assignments. So now we need to tell to this router that this 172.16.1.1 is nothing but a DHCP server. So that process is called as a DHCP relay. So very important for your interviews. What is a DHCP relay means? If you are the DHCP server is sitting some other different subnet, we need to go and configure the command. I'll show you the command. So config t interface gi 0/0/0.10. So we have that sub interface, right? So here we need to configure IP helper address is going to be 172.16.1.1. So this 172.16.1.1 is nothing but our DHCP IP. So in the same way, let's do it for other VLAN also, .20. So he is going to be, the DHCP server anyway is going to be same. So in the same way, we need to do it for VLAN 30. So the DHCP server for all the VLANs is going to be same. So this process is called as an DHCP relay configurations. I hope you are following the lab. So let's go now and let's change to static and let's ask the DHCP. So now again it's requesting for a new IP address. Hopefully it will get. Reason the DHCP is failing. So let's do some packet capture and we'll see where is the problem. So to do that, let's go to the simulation mode and let's ensure the traffic from this computer. So now if you see the DHCP server is failing, so let's click on static and again let's click on DHCP. Please see the events from this computer. Now if you see the packet is ready, so I'm just requesting the DHCP packet capture and just minimize this one. And if you see that packet capture started working. So from PC0 it will, okay, you need to start the packet capture. Okay, it came to the switch, that's fine. And from switch, yes, it came to the main VTP core switch, that is also fine. And let's see after that, okay, it went to everybody, okay, and it even went to router also, that is also absolutely fine. And now yes, my packet is delivered to the server and you can even see the tick mark. So let's, okay, it's again showing some wrong symbol here. So there is some problem on the DHCP server only. So let's see the events. I am not interested in all the events because all are successful. So let's see the communication from this router to server. So there is something happening from this router to the server. So let's double click on this one and let's see the events. So DHCP packets will come here. So we can see the packet is a DHCP packet and it processes it very good. So the DHCP server received a DHCP discover packet, absolutely fine. So the DHCP server does not have a pool configured. Oh, it seems the DHCP pool there is some problem, so that's why it's dropping the packet. So if you carefully read this is how we need to do the packet capture in real time also. If you see the DHCP server does not have a pool configured, for some reason it drops the packet, but I have configured the pool. Let's exactly see what's going on in the pool. So I'll just come to real time so that the packet capture will stop. So let's concentrate on the DHCP server. Let's go to the DHCP server. Let's cross verify our pools. Okay, we have all the pools created. Okay, VLAN 10 pool default gateway. Okay, DNS server. Okay, so here is the IP address is wrong. So it should be 192.168 10.5. Let me save it correctly. I think we need to do for VLAN 20 also. Oh, it's the same mistake. So here also it should be 192.168.20.5, and let's save it. So let's do the same thing for VLAN 30. So 192.168.30.5. let's save it. So let me cross verify for VLAN 10. Yes, now we have the things correctly. So the default gateway, the DNS, the start IP, subnet mask, everything is looking good. So let's go back to our lab and request for the IP address. So I am on VLAN 10 computer. Okay, now let's go back to static and now request for DHCP IP. So hopefully we should get the IP. Yes, this is fine now. So we have got the DHCP server. You see guys, earlier there was some problem in the VLAN pool. So since I have configured and make it corrected, so we are getting the IPv4 address and subnet mask and DNS default gateway, DNS server, all the related information we are getting from the that particular DHCP server. So let's go to this VLAN 20 computer and let's come to static and just refresh to DHCP. So hopefully for VLAN 20 also, even if you observe whatever the VLAN pool we have created, so for VLAN 20, so we have created 20 dot series, so that's why IPs are coming from 20.5. For VLAN 10 we have created 10.5, 10.6, so that's why for VLAN it will come with 10, and for VLAN 20 it will come with 20. For VLAN 30 it will come with 30.5 and 30.6. so the beauty of DHCP server is whatever the pools you have created for that particular VLAN, only that particular IP it will get added. So you can see the DNS configuration, you can also see the default gateways configuration. I hope you are able to get correlate in the real time. So what we have done means, so we have the VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 PCs, so all the way they are crossing the router, they are crossing the switch, and they are getting the information from the server. So one step is done. So the second thing is, let's do the validation towards the ISP routers. So normally guys, what we will do, so if you wanted to check your internet connection from your computer, we'll go to the command prompt and we'll type google.com, or we can in real time we can also ping to 8.8.8. that's also will give you, so if you have internet access or not. So 8.8.8, yes, I have the internet access, that's why I'm able to ping. But now let's try to ping 8.8.8 from VLAN 10 computer, VLAN 20 computer. So before that we need to create 8.8.8 because this is a lab simulation, there is nobody called 8.8.8. we need to virtually create 8.8.8 on both of these ISP routers, because end of the day 8.8.8 is nothing but Google DNS server IP. So we don't have any real-time Google DNS servers, so that's why we need to go to these two routers, just create the loopbacks for 8.8.8. so on the Airtel router, enable conft, so interface loopback 0, so no shutdown, IP address is going to be 8.8.8 with 8.8.8 with is going to be /22 or anything you can use, 255.255. I'll just copy the same command we need to use on the other switch also, the other router also. So let's go to the BSNL router, sorry, enable conft interface loopback 0, so no shutdown, and paste. Yes, excellent. So now the final verification for our lab today. So let's go to computer 1 and let's try to ping 8.8.8 so that we can prove that our lab is working, and the end user computers from VLAN thing, they are able to access. You see I tried pinging to DHCP server, it's working. 172.16.1.1 is DHCP server. So final test is 8.8.8. so hopefully it will ping. Let's see. So anyway, first packet it will drop, that's not a problem. Okay, yes, still there is some routing missing, so that's why it's not pinging. That's absolutely fine. So actually we haven't configured the return traffic here. So we need to go to we need to go to this router and we need to tell the return traffic. Let's make the changes on the Airtel router first, followed by BSNL router also we need to do. So we can configure IP route. Again, I'm just configuring one default route. So any traffic, just send it to the towards my company router. So 1.1.1 is going to by my company router, and just do the changes so that it will be right permanently. So just go to this BSNL router also and exit. So yeah, config t mode, conf t IP route, so all zeros with any subnet mask. So just send it to 2.2.2.1. okay. So as a final confirmation, let's try to ping. So 8.8.8 now is running on both the routers. So now let's try to ping 8.8.8. yes, it's absolutely working fine. And the final confirmation, let's go to this PC, and now let's try to ping 8.8.8. yes, now it is pinging. But what I want to show here is, so now let's shut down. Let's first see how the traffic is going. So as a confirmation, let's go to this computer itself and let's ask the path. So I already explained about what is the trace route. So trace route, how you are going to internet 8.8.8. it is clearly telling first I am going to the this 192.168.10.100 on that router, and after that it should go via this Airtel router only. So now let's do the continuous ping. So I'll do the continuous ping from this PC. So ping hyphen t 8.8.8.8, and now it started pinging. So what we can do, I'll shut down the Airtel router just to simulate the real-time things. So let's go to this Airtel router, and now conf t, sorry, we need to type config t, and let's do that. Or okay, let's go to this router and shut down. So let's go to this router itself, the Airtel router, since we have the access to Airtel router also. So interface sc0/1/0 shutdown. So now if you see, I have made to shut down. So the link is down, but the end users shouldn't impact any problems. Still the 8.8.8 will keep on go. Now if you see, there is no disturbances for 8.8.8. so even though the Airtel will go down, so automatically the traffic will divert to the BSNL link. So I hope you have understood what I'm trying to explain here. So just to give a overview, so our conclusion for this one, so we have built-in HDFC or SBI bank setup where we have multiple VLANs. So we have 3-4 switches, we have made one VTP master, so we have made them VTP clients, multiple VLANs are created, the connections from all the switch we have made it as a trunk. So I have the DHCP server, so here I have created all the VLAN pools, and I have made 2 ISP link connections. So one is from Airtel, other is from BSNL. So here I have made default routing towards both the routers. So if now Airtel is going down, automatically the BSNL will work. So this is going to be your mini project also. So this will be much helpful for the interviews. So I hope the session is useful and informative. So if you have any feedback, please comment. Thanks for watching.